You're right. That's right. Because lots of things, hinge on this particular thing. Now, next 2-3 months are going to be very important. Because they've opened all the government offices also from yesterday.
Yeah.
Even the schools have been, all in Delhi have been directed, school as well as colleges, to be open full.
Yeah, that's right.
So with your permission, shall we start?
Let's wait for another 2 minutes, and then it's just 3 at this time, right? So the champions take some time, to log in.
Yes, that is right.
So let's discuss in the meantime this article which I read yesterday about North Korea stealing 370 crores, in a span of 6 to 8 months for 3 crypto agencies. So can we deliberate more on this? Like how is this possible? Like it's quite a lot, quite a big fraud. Like
Say again, if you can repeat your question, please.
so, this is an article which came in, and North Korea having stolen 370 crores.
Okay.
Between
Okay,
2000
I'll just tell you. Yeah. So it's a very common phenomena, and it's an ongoing phenomena. As to, if you look at it, North Korea practically doesn't have anything, no international relation, no economy which is really growing. So how do they really survive? So one of the ways and means is to carry out the cyber attacks, do ransomware attacks. We saw some of the cyber attacks happening in India as well. Their very common cyber attack group is Lazarus, which they do it. They mine crypto for the economy. They steal and hack exchanges for the crypto. So this is only a tip of the iceberg. What the report is, it's a huge chunk of money which they have been earning. It's almost into $1 billion.
Yeah, and it involves North America, Europe, and Asia. The three major.
So net, what they have done is they are quite a bit very aggressive on cyber attacks, whether it's a crypto exchanges, because they know it's a hard money which is already there. They can use it immediately, or they launch a cyber attack and earn the money from that, right? And if you remember, there was a cyber attack way back in 2017 or 18. Very year-wise, I'm forgetting. That was on the Cosmos Bank. That was through the Lazarus attack itself. So that's how they really do.
So you can't trace it.
That is their way of earning. That is the economy is working like that.
Okay.
So I think, Ruby, we can start.
So,
okay.
A warm welcome to my dear students and faculty and all my esteemed panelists and our special guest, expert guest, Colonel Dr. Inderjeet Singh ji. It is always a pleasure interacting with you and getting to know more and more about this favorite topic, which is currently in news, and with so much of the work going online and virtually everything that you do, all transactions nowadays going online. So it's very important for our students to know more about this virtual world and how these things happen. And one of the most important things which is going to take a bigger shape in the coming times is cryptocurrency. And today's topic is cryptocurrency. It is an overview. Our students and our faculty, as well as our we are very desirous to know what exactly is cryptocurrency, though we know, but then definitely we would like to know more. We'd like to delve more on what exactly is cryptocurrency and how do we go about it and what are the challenges which the world is facing. And so today I'm joined by my Mr. Manoj Sani, sir. He's Director, Corporate Resource Center and Industry Investigation. So, sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ruby. Thank you so much, and thank you for getting Colonel Inderjeet Singh ji back again to the campus. He's been always kind enough to interact with our students a lot many times, and of course, we recently saw his article in our university chronicle. And students, good afternoon to all of you. Indeed, I extend a very warm welcome to Colonel Inderjeet Singh on behalf of Amity University, Haryana. Welcome, sir. And these students, I'm sure they're going to, take a lot of learning and a lot of knowledge after this session. After the current hot topic, as Ruby said, cryptocurrency. So you're going to give them an overview. Students, before Ruby ma'am introduces properly to Colonel Inderjeet Singh, so I'll give a brief. He is the Chief Cybersecurity Officer and Chief Information Officer of a very renowned leading organization, Vara Technologies. Over to you, Ruby, to take the process forward. And thank you, sir, for your time. I really appreciate that, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj. Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Let me give you a brief introduction of Colonel Dr. Inderjeet Singh ji. He is Chief Cybersecurity Officer at Vara Technologies. Also, Colonel Inderjeet Singh ji has been head of the Cybersecurity Center of Excellence at Vara Technologies. In his role, he is very instrumental in building the cybersecurity business unit for the group. He's working on the disruptive technologies in the cybersecurity space for securing IT networks, smart cities, and critical information infrastructure. He's also served in the Indian Armed Forces, is an alumnus of Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, and Symbiosis Institute of Management, Pune. He's Doctorate of Science from Lagos International University, Florida. He's an experienced information systems professional with experience of more than 29 plus years across a wide spectrum of areas spanning cybersecurity operations, leadership, and influencing policy level decisions in multiple organizations. Throughout his career, he has parlayed his extensive background in security and deep knowledge to help organizations build and implement strategic cybersecurity and blockchain solutions. He has held prestigious appointments while in the Indian Army and has also served in the United Nations missions in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Later, he has been a CIO of an e-commerce company also. He's a visionary for startup incubation, entrepreneurship development, strategic consulting, and new technology evaluation for commercial viability. He's a subject matter expert on latest disruptive technologies. He's consistently delivered mission-critical results in the field of information security management, cybersecurity, cyber warfare, cyber risk management, blockchain, data science, and smart cities. In a snapshot, I would just like to mention he is a fellow of Aerospace and Defense Council of India, Director General, Cybersecurity Association of India, Executive Council Member and Vice President, Society for Data Science, Executive Committee Member for International Organization for Education Development, Managing Editor of Cybernomics Periodical, Co-founder Blockchain India Foundation, Fellow of Institute of Engineers, Fellow of Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, Fellow of Computer Science, Computer Society of India. He has been consistently being awarded while in Army and has been awarded Army Chief Commendation Card 2001, United Nations Commendation Card 2004, Magnificent CIO of the Year Award in the year 2016, Excellence Award by International Police Commission, IPC 2019, 50 Innovative Leaders Award 2020, Cybersecurity Leadership Award 2020, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Award for Education Development 2020, 30 Most Influential Indian Thought Leaders in Blockchain 2021, Cybersecurity Excellence Award 2021. So, great honor, sir. Over to you, Inderjeet ji.
Thank you, Dr. Ruby. Thank you, Mr. Manoy. I'm really humbled by a very detailed, citation of me, I'll say, and really thank you very much. And it's a real pleasure to with you all today again. And in fact, like we were discussing, we were planning way back in December, and then we were not, able to do it. And now we are finally here and talk on a topic of everybody's interest, and whether it's a small child, whether it's a old, or whether it's a young guy like you, everybody wants to, get into the field of crypto, and it's such an interesting space where we are seeing the economy changing, where we're seeing the technology coming into our mobiles, where we're seeing the movement of currencies, happening from our mobile itself. Lots of interesting space. So today, that's what we are going to be talking about. We are going to talk about what's a cryptocurrency, how it's being mined, how do we really get it, what are the different processes which are there with the exchange, what are different kind of currencies. We also will be talking of the bads about the crypto, because the crypto has got some ills. That's why we have a challenge today. We are not legalizing it. And we'll talk of the terror financing, we'll talk of the darknet usage, we'll also talk of, the scams and the gambling where it's being used. So that's where we'll be talking of. But one disclaimer I will always tell while before talking on the crypto, this is only educational purpose. It's not a crypto buying advice. So we will not talk of that at all. We will only be talking about the technology perspective, so that, you should be aware of what's the future. You should be aware of how to tackle the new technologies when it comes to you, how you should imbibe it. So that's the main aim of this talk altogether. So I will just share my screen, and please do let me know when you are able to see it. Right. So before we start, just like to have this talk very interactive and make it more inquisitive and a thought process going up. So just want to know how many of you are being already invested in crypto. So if you have done it, you just type A in the chat window, and kindly, if you have not done it, put it B. So let me have a look at where does the interest actually really goes. So it's more from the perspective where we can then pitch this talk and take it ahead, because people who are invested, for them, it is going to be like you're going to learn more, because we'll try and tell you what really happens as the technology goes. People who are not invested, at least they will get a hang of what's happening in this part of the world of the cryptocurrency. All right. So fairly nice. I'm seeing, almost a 40% of people already invested, and 60% are the ones who have not invested, right? Okay. So I think just key in, because it's a learning session. It's not a kind of a session where I will like that you just go away without learning anything. It's a more of learning session. We'll try to include in this session wherever your interests are, so that you learn some bit of it, because you're all from a diverse backgrounds, from a technology, from management, from commerce. And the one thing is common: the cryptocurrency is going to affect everyone, right? So that is what is the basis of this talk. So I'm going to give you a cryptocurrency overview of how the cryptocurrencies really work. This I already Dr. Ruby has elaborately brought out, and thank you very much, Dr. Ruby, for telling about me. And just to begin with, I will start with the evolution of the payment system, right? And I will not jump on to the cryptocurrency right away, just to give you a preview that we are into the payment systems since time immemorial, right? And started with the barter system. And during our time, we are seeing the online banking, which actually came in 1995, followed by the credit cards, which are very oftenly using it, right? Credit and a debit card. And then it was 2009 when we saw the first digital currency being mined, right? And on 22nd of May 2010, there was a pizza which was being bought at a cost of 10,000 BTC. That's being the recorded Bitcoin transaction. And that's changed the whole gamut of transactions today. And that is why we are talking about the Bitcoin, how they're really going to change the transactions and the different economies all over. Right. So some people who are there on the call and, they will really like to know as to, before we get onto the Bitcoin, just to tell you what are the cryptocurrencies, right? And to tell a cryptocurrency, they are digital commodities, and they are being kind of designed to serve an alternative to the conventional currencies, right? And in Indian context also, we are talking of CBDC. If you have heard this year's budget's speech, we talk of CBDC. CBDC is Central Digital. Somebody's mic is on or something. Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC. So that is the one which is going to be there. And there are lots of cryptocurrencies. So we generally talk of Bitcoin as the most common one, but here we're not going to be talking of the Bitcoin itself. There are lots of other currencies like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, there are Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Cardano, ADA, and then there you have Tron, n number of them, right? So there are more than 8,000 of them which are on the different markets being traded today, right? And all the cryptocurrencies, what we are talking of, are independent of the government monetary authority. When I say independent, you have the fiat currency, which is being used. It's been given by the RBI in case of India, and they are the ones who are governing it. So all cryptocurrencies are not being governed by any central authority. That's the major change, first instance. And there are a large number of cryptocurrencies, which I told you. There are a large number of exchanges which are there, and there are almost more than 70 million blockchain users all across the world. And in India itself, there are 10 million users, you can imagine. And the amount which is being traded is around $6 billion to $7 billion. Different studies say different numbers, but that's the way it is. So that is how the cryptocurrency have changed the overall scenario. All right. And the Bitcoin, the heart of the cryptocurrency, so to say, it was first mined in 2009. And it was thought that there'll be almost 21 million Bitcoins, that will be mined. And what has happened is, till now, almost 19 million Bitcoins have already been mined. Just imagine. So it's a game of demand supply. So the total number of Bitcoins are 21 million, and we already mined 19 million. So people who have got it, that's why the price has gone up. So it's almost, $42,000 as of yesterday. The price was there, and it's changing, it's varying. It went almost up to $60,000. So it's very speculative and volatile, to say. And when I say about a Bitcoin, like I told you, everything started with one paper. It's a 11 pages paper, which is being written by a person called Satoshi Nakamoto. And nobody knows the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto after 2011. One email, which was the last one, and thereafter nobody knows who is. And there are lots of people who are trying to say that we are Satoshi Nakamoto and we have made the Bitcoin. And the word which was coined was a cryptocurrency. And if you look at the word cryptocurrency, it's got two parts to it, right? The technology is cryptography. And the first part of the cryptocurrency is crypto. That means it's an advanced cryptography, right? And it's a kind of a cryptographic algorithm which is very secure. Second is the currency, which is a medium of exchange and system of money, right? And the complete Bitcoin was being used for transacting by sending and receiving Bitcoins using the public address, like your email addresses, right? So you can send it to anyone, whosoever has got the public address, you know that you can pay to him using the Bitcoin. Now, there's a catch. Everybody's got a private key, like your password to the email account. You can only unlock and sign that Bitcoin transaction if you know the password. Nobody else would know it. And the owner of that private key is the owner of the Bitcoin, whosoever has got it. So, like some of you have the cryptocurrency, some of you have got the wallets. If you have that wallet, written somewhere, wallet private key written somewhere, consider yourself safe. If you lose that private key, there is no methodology to recover those passwords, right? And owner of those private key have the possession of them, the Bitcoin. And there is no concept of accounts, right? There's only transactions which happen, and that is a transaction which are being validated by the network. And it totally exists digitally. There's no paperwork. There's no physical manifestation of Bitcoin. So whatever coins or the photograph which I showed you on the first slide, it's just the manifestation of Bitcoin and nothing else, right? So this is what I have put it on the slide, what I told you as a story, that 2007, Nakamoto begins work on the Bitcoin. 2008, he registered the bitcoin.org. And on October 2008, 31st October 2008, he published the white paper on crypto mailing list. And on January 2009, the first block was mined. That was the start of the Bitcoin story. And on 9th of January 2009, the first code was posted. Thereafter, January 2009, the first transaction from Nakamoto to Finney block 170 was done, right? And on 5th October 2009, the exchange rate of 1300 Bitcoin, just see the number of Bitcoins, was 1 USD. That's where the complete thing started, right? And on 2010, a programmer pays 10,000 BTCs for 2 pizzas, right? That's the costliest one could buy ever. And you just see, if anybody is having a 10,000 BTCs today, how rich he or she would be. And thereafter, they established the mining pool. Mining pool is basically you are doing the crypto mining, right? And hereafter, the BTC or the Bitcoins took a different turn. And that's the time when darknet came in. And darknet was where kind of illicit activities were being done, whether it was by terrorists, whether it was for the drugs, whether it was for the pornography, whether it was for the, the stolen goods. The currency in the darknet was the cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin, right? And in 2012, there was case of WikiLeaks which came up, and then there was cases of Silk Road which came up 2013, which was having the BTCs, and they had almost 1,44,000 BTCs which were caught in that Silk Road operations, right? And thereafter, the cryptocurrencies has been in discussion. There are so many exchanges which have come up. There were exchanges which were being hacked. The cryptocurrency has been stolen, because this is a kind of technology where people thought it's very easy to crack and get the money, right? And the tool of cryptocurrency was being very effectively used. And the darknet, which actually becomes a very synonymous term along with the cryptocurrency, because in darknet, the tool of exchange was a cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin. So anything which you were buying was in the cryptocurrencies. And the story goes on. So every day there is some hack. Every day we find the cryptocurrency being used by the terrorists which are there, the hackers who want the money in cryptocurrency. And interestingly, I just forgot one. The hackers are only taking the money in cryptocurrency. earlier, whenever you had a ransomware attack, they used to ask dollars, $100, $200. And thereafter, they started asking crypto, 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin. And as the prices have gone up, now it's 0.5 Bitcoins or so. And if it is a bigger cyber attack, they're asking in $4 million. Last year, Canadian pipeline attack, they asked for that. The JBC, meat company, which was there, they asked for $11 million. So that's the kind of ransomware all the hackers are asking now, right? And hackers are earning billions and billions out of the hack attacks using Bitcoin, right? Because the money they're asking in the Bitcoin, and that's how they do it. Even the terrorist funding is lots in Bitcoin. Your drugs purchase is all in Bitcoin. So some of the properties which give a real edge to the Bitcoin, one, it's open, right? Anybody can be part of it. It's pretty fast. It's permissionless. Like I told you, there is no central authority which really controls it. It is pseudonymous, though people call it anonymous. I call it pseudonymous because it can still be tracked. The transactions can be tracked, whatever is happening in the Bitcoin. And it's being secured by cryptographic keys. So electric key, which is being used, algorithms, those are the ones which are there. Then it's peer-to-peer networks. It's decentralized. You don't require to have central servers which are working, like in the case of Google or any network where you have a client-server architecture. Here you don't require that. It's a decentralized architecture which is being utilized. It's global. Then it's a fungible, and then we will, if the time permits, we will talk of something non-fungible. That's the NFTs, which everybody's talking of today. And they're all being recorded on the blockchain. And just to tell you, there are two technologies which we talk in the same breath. One, the blockchain, and second is the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the one which you see, which is being traded, and the underlying technology is the blockchain. That is how it really works. And it's highly volatile. And most of you who have been trading, you would have seen there's a crash in the market. It is like very much susceptible to the losses. Anytime any country says something about it, there are losses when there are directions which come up or there's a ban by any country. So it's quite volatile in that manner. It's divisible, up to the last 8 decimals after 0. It's trustless. So there's no trust between any of them. So that is how it really works. And though it's a decentralized but trustless economy, no intermediary, and it's always limited supply. Like I brought in that Bitcoin, you have a total supply of 21 million, right? So that is how it really works. Now, I spoke of the blockchain and the Bitcoin, and I told you that Bitcoin is the underlying technology for the blockchain, right? Sorry, blockchain is the underlying technology for the Bitcoin. And the blockchain are a kind of a peer-to-peer distributed ledgers, right? Which work on the consensus. And what binds them through is the smart contract. That is what is the blockchain all about, right? And there are 3 things which you should remember. One is the proof of work. Second is the proof of stake. And third is the proof of authority. And these are the consensus algorithms which are used in the blockchain, right? And that is how we really work on. And we have the cryptocurrencies, which are the hash codes, which are generated, and those are the ones which are being traded, right? And then again, in the market, it's all demand supply, right? And they're immutable, they're decentralized, they're permissionless, and they're public. And also, we have hybrid mode blockchains also, which are coming up, right? And the blockchain primarily gives you lots of advantage when it comes to different use cases. Every industry today is being affected by, or they're imbibing the blockchain technology, whether it's a supply chain management, whether it's your banking, whether it's insurance, transportation, aviation, hospitals, everywhere we are trying to have the blockchain getting into. Why? Because it's based on the technology, which is a distributed ledger. It gives you security. There are transactions which can be tracked, right? It gives you lots of analytics. It is immutable, right? And it is very difficult to hack. That's most important, right? So the blockchain gives lots of advantage when you're using it for your personal official purpose. And it's all about your, ensuring data and trust in your network, right? And the one thing which I brought in, it's being enforced using smart contracts. Okay, the smart contracts is the binding factor for the blockchain, right? And this is how you implement a blockchain in a network. So you take any use case, like in case of banks also, if you're going in, KYC, or the second use case, you can talk of the trade finance, LCs, which are there, letter of credit. So every part, implementing blockchain. Okay. Now coming back to the Bitcoin, and like I told you that the blockchain underpins the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin is unregulated, shadow currency. And unfortunately, what is there is that the Bitcoin is very resource intensive. There's lots of power which is required. And you would have seen that, most of the countries wanted the blockchain mining to go off because it consumes so much of power. And when we talk of the blockchain, it is for the business, there are three key areas where it differentiates: is identity over anonymity. It's a selective endorsement over the proof of work, and assets over cryptocurrency. So anywhere in the business, if you're using the blockchain, this will be the kind of, key results which you'll be getting it when you're using the blockchain. Now, the Bitcoin ecosystem, which is available, it has got four major components to the Bitcoin platform. One, you have the users. Second, you have the merchants. Third, you have the service wallets and exchanges. And fourth is the miner itself. And now if you look at it from a perspective that users are the people who are using it, buying it, selling it, then you have the merchants who are trading the Bitcoins, right? And the merchant services. Then you have the wallets and exchanges. There are 1,200 plus exchanges today, which are there all across. And then is the mining. And the huge miners who work around the clock for mining. I think somebody's unmute. I'll request everybody to mute, please. Somebody is, unmuted. Yeah. So I have actually covered this part. So yeah. So the miners, exchanges, hosted wallets, merchant service, and cryptocurrency kiosks. Then some of the ICOs where you can use it. So there's lots and lots of categories of the cryptocurrency. Now, while I told you that the cryptocurrency is mined, and when I say it's being mined, it's a process of, kind of undertaking a mathematical calculation that are registered through a series of autonomous internet modules, right? That together constitute a blockchain. So what practically happens is there's a mathematical algorithm. You put the computing power, you break that code, you get the private key, and that's a hash code which is created. That is a proof of work which you get it. That's the proof of work which is there, which you, put it for the market for selling. And that is the hash code, which is the Bitcoin. And the blockchain, which is the underlying technology, it's a digital ledger mechanism, which is designed to insulate the validated cryptocurrency. So there's a lock between the two. Remember this. And the blockchain validates the two nodes. It validates the transaction happening, for the Bitcoins. this is how you are validating the cryptocurrencies which are being mined. And there it provides a way for the currency quantity control, right? And that is how you are mining a cryptocurrency. So there are n number of cryptocurrencies which I told you. There are almost 8,000 plus different currencies altogether. And what I'm trying to show you is some of them which are quite common. And most common is, of course, the Bitcoin itself, which I've showed you here. And then are other ones. And there are plenty of new cryptocurrencies also, which are coming in the market today. One of the secrecy coins, which is of concern, is always the Monero, which is there. So this is only the manifestation of the cryptos, not the actual coins which you ever see like this, right? And these can be traded on the exchanges. So who are the miners, right? So somebody who's mining it, and they are the ones basically who are trying to break the mathematical algorithm. They do the pooled mining also. So there are people who don't have the hash power. They don't have the power to mine it. So what they do is they create mining pools and they can generate Bitcoins. So they can combine resource in pools to generate the Bitcoins, right? And Bitcoin minings are generally located in the places where it's a cheap electricity, right? So not every place can be used for Bitcoin mining because it's consumed lots and lots of power, right? And when you do the mining, it's kind of the Fed equivalent is the central banks where the coins are minted, the currency is printed. So it's equivalent to those kind of scenarios, right? And the example is the bitcoin.com, the btc.com, and the nice hash. Anyone with personal computers can use it for the mining. And, unfortunately, there are lots of ways where it can be used for laundering purpose also. So the miners are trying to, steal the hash power of different people using the hack attack. So that's also a challenge when it comes to the mining part. So they keep on working. So evolution of mining is when they had a CPU, central processing units, like you see your normal home computers which are there. Then they came up the graphical processing units, then the FPGA, and now is the ASICs, right? So this is the one which are being used, the ASIC cards, right? They're called jigs, which are there. And you see how the jigs are being placed in the mining area. And this is basically to break the mathematical codes to mine the Bitcoin. This is one of the Bitcoin mining data center, which is being used to mine Bitcoin. And just see the amount of, ASIC cards which are being placed all across. And there's huge amount of power, which is being consumed by this mining facility. It's consumed almost 160 or 100 megawatts of mining for that purpose. Then this is another mining Bitcoin mining facility which is there, right? Then this is in the Iceland, where it does the Genesis farming, one of the largest Bitcoin mines, and kind of mining and the tools which are being used for mining. You can imagine the magnitude of power which it's consuming. Then this is one which is there in Venezuela, right? And these are the kind of mines or the crypto mines which are being used for mining the crypto. And every 10 minutes, you have quite a number of Bitcoins which are being pumped into the market, right? So I'll just take a pause here. Should you have any question, I'll love to answer that before we move ahead. Anybody, any questions, please? Anyone? Okay. If none, so let's move ahead, right? So One question was, Saurabh, he had asked that, can crypto be hacked today? And the answer is yes. We have seen lots of crypto hacking happening, day in and day out. Every day, either there's the wallets are getting hacked, or there's exchanges itself are getting hacked. So lots of hack attacks do happen, and it's because of the vulnerabilities with the exploiting in the technology of the exchanges or the mismanaged passwords. So that's another thing. And like I told you, the blockchain cannot be hacked, but there's a catch. If you have 51% of the nodes under you, you can still hack blockchain altogether. Then where are you going to, sell this mined Bitcoin? So you have exchanges for that purpose, which is used for buying, selling, trading of the cryptocurrencies. And, you can get onto those exchanges with your KYC, and you can have the accounts which can be opened up, and thereafter you can use it for trading of the crypto. And the fiat equivalent is your stock exchanges which you have today, right? So NSE, BSE, these are the kind of exchanges which are there. And there are a number of exchanges all across the world. Some in India, WazirX, Coinbase, CoinSwitch, lots of them, they are famous. Binance is famous. So those are the one exchanges. There are 1,200 plus exchanges which are already there. And possible exploit is that they are being targeted by hackers and phishing attack, and can be used for the money laundering. So these are the kind of exploits which are there in the exchanges, right? So I have listed out some of the major exchanges which are there today. And like I told you, in India, we have WazirX, we have CoinDCX, quite famous, Bitbins, right? And people are opening up the accounts on that for trading purpose. And these are some of the exchanges internationally which are quite interesting, very famous, and they trade lots of cryptocurrencies on them. All right. And this is how the crypto exchanges do look like, people who have not been trading crypto. So any currency which is there, you have the buyer side, you have the seller side, people who are trading, and then you have the option of the spot selling, spot buying, whatever and it's a very technologically oriented analysis which is being done in each of the exchanges. They have a logarithmic maps which are there, probabilistic maps are there, so heuristic algorithms are there. So lots and lots of technologies which are being there to analyze which way is the particular coin going to swing, right? So this is the kind of very, very complex looking exchanges, but if you understand it, it's very interesting to understand how it really works. I'll just move out. Then you have the hosted wallets, and hosted wallets are the one where the wallets which are alternatively to the individually controlled wallets. So they are the ones, they are easy to use and very secure as compared to your individually controlled wallets, and risky if you don't choose a good one. So that's another challenge which you have. They work in a app or a web-based, and there's no storage issue, no sync lag or complex operations. In the case of the fiat equivalent is the digital wallet, that's the Apple Pay. And you have examples of freewallet.org, expo.com. So those are the ones which you can use it. And the possible exploits for the hosted wallets are the scam wallet service can steal a user's private key because you're giving the details to them. And there's an increasing adoption due to ease of use and apps convenience. So that's where people are trying to use a hosted wallet as compared to the individual wallet. But then there's a challenge of security when it comes to. So there are a number of hosted wallets, but most commonly is the Exodus, Expo, Blockchain, Coinami. So these are the one which are there quite popularly being used by different people, right? Then your Bitcoin wallet, like your normal Paytm wallets, which you are using. Here also you can have the Bitcoin, which can be stored in the wallet, and the transactions can be made using this, right? And you can keep a record of all the transactions which are happening in the wallet, and you can send and receive the money from the wallet very effectively and very easily altogether. Then there are cryptocurrency kiosks which are there, though it's not there in India, but they convert cash into cryptocurrency and vice versa. And it's located in Singapore and other countries where they are kind of in a legalizing the crypto. So they are being used at public places, for malls, for liquor stores, for gas station, right? And they look similar to the ATMs which are there, the fiat ATMs, but operate as a money service business only, right? So that's how they really work. And some of the examples are the Coin Cloud, BitNational, CoinSource, and the Coinstar. So they are the ones which are being there. But one of the exploits which do come up is the bad actors with a lot of cash are tempted to convert to cryptocurrency. So all the money laundering can happen using all this cryptocurrency kiosks. Then you have the cryptocurrency ATMs, right? And these are the ATMs like any ATM which you see all across the country, and they convert, the ones which are there, the currency. And I'll just show you here. So this is the ATMs which are spreading rapidly, and they have increased quite a bit now. So there are almost 8,000 ATMs all across, right? All across the world, which are available, and the number is increasing, though we have none in India as of now, right? And the number of cryptocurrency ATMs, like I've shown you 6,900. So this is as late as December 2021. It's gone up every day in and day out. They are increasing. It's available in 73 countries. There are 41 producers of the same thing and 550 operators. And the amount of services which are there is, you can just see it, almost 150,000 services which it supports. And if you look at the Bitcoin ATM map, it's all over the world, right? And though you don't find much towards Indian side, China, they already, banned it. So you don't find any ATMs there. Russia is wanting to ban it. So there also you hardly find any ATMs. But if you look at Europe side, this side is pretty high, and the North America. So you just see the number of ATM which are all across the world. Then in Australia also you have number of ATMs. This is how the Bitcoin ATM looks like any other ATM, but this is for exchanging the Bitcoins. Similarly, not same ATM can be used. So for Ethereum, you'll have a different ATM. For Bitcoin, you'll have a different ATM. For Bitcoin Cash, you'll have a different ATM. So for each of them, it's going to be all different, right? This is again, which is there in Singapore, the Crypto Mart. Then I was talking about the mining. I just want to touch on the mining pools, and basically mining pools are where the mining, they pool their resources. And what are they pooling in? They're pooling in their computing power. Like even in your laptop, if you have your ASIC card, your graphic card, the one which you are using, normal laptops cannot give the kind of power which is required for mining. So if you have a graphic card, you can give your power to the mining pool for mining a Bitcoin. And then there is a software which is being run centrally, and you're being rewarded accordingly based on as and when that Bitcoin is being mined, right? And the mine block is divided amongst all the people who have contributed to it. So that is how it really works. And it's equivalent to the central bank where they do the printing of currency. And the BTC.com is one of the mining pool, which is for the professional, very, very interesting site. And then is a nice hash where anyone with personal computers also can join in there, right? So that is how you can get into the mining pool. Then is a merchant service, and just to give you a view about merchant services, where the financial services authorized to accept the customer payment on behalf of a business. So that is how the merchant service really work. And they are known to be the payment gateways or the payment processors. And they take cryptocurrency for invoicing, online in-person payments, and they convert it to the local fiat, and they try to settle the funds to the merchant bank accounts, right? So this is akin to what you're using it as a MasterCard, your PayPal, your Paytm, Visa card. So these are the kind of merchant service, what are they? And some of the examples are the BitPay, Flex, Coin Payment, Web Money, Coinify, Scale. So these are the merchant services which are available. One can go and use it, right? But there's a exploit, there's a challenge which comes up with the technology. So there are some malicious websites which can be registered, posing them as the original one to accept the cryptocurrency payment that are processed by the merchant, and they can siphon off that money, right? So that is again a challenge which does come up. So there are lots of stores which accept cryptocurrency with the help of merchant service, right? And Starbucks is quite forthcoming in accepting the cryptocurrencies for the merchant service that way. And lots of other countries are following the same lines for accepting the cryptocurrency. In fact, just to tell you, Switzerland, if you're wanting to have some of your government certificates, you can pay it in the cryptocurrency and get the certificates made. Okay, Venezuela, not Venezuela, El Salvador has legalized cryptocurrency as a legal tender, right? So they have all the merchants who are accepting the cryptocurrency as a legal tender in that, right? And while the cryptocurrency dip was happening last 15 odd days, El Salvador guys bought almost $1 billion of cryptocurrency to top of their wallets and top of their money chest of the country. So some of the challenges which are there with cryptocurrency is gambling. And when we talk of gambling, the online gambling sites for slots, sports betting, and they are accepting cryptocurrency as the tool of payment, right? So there are lots of gambling sites do come up for this. It's a big kind of challenge which is there. And how it really works, it will opens an account, they send cryptocurrency and wagger their funds, and KYC is not very prevalent, so they don't get into KYC part. They are treated differently by different jurisdictions. So that's how it really works. And any casino or online gambling service that fall part as akin to the online gambling by cryptocurrency. So there are lots of casinos which are online, which are accepting bitcoins or the cryptocurrency as the way of exchanging for the betting part. And the exploits are that it can be used for money laundering most of the time, and lots of gambling sites are actually owned by a few holding companies. So that's again a challenge which does come up. Any questions so far? Any doubts? If you have, let me give a pause and Okay, there were two questions I'll like to answer here. Any questions if you have, because let's make it interactive. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it will be just as slides and you will go away not learning anything. So try and make it interactive. So Shalu Yadav, I think she asked a question. Litecoin expectation trading promotes the growth of Bitcoin or not? So sorry, I'm not going to answer this. This is where you can go to the exchange and just read out on. I'm not getting into the trading part of the cryptocurrency here. The other part was the Shruti Jain. She asked, is Bitcoin mining legal in India? No, it's not legal. So you cannot mine Bitcoin in India. And any other question? Let me ask. Saurav, he asked that crypto is decentralized. So question is, should India government really impose 30% tax on it. If we are paying tax on our income through crypto, then what's the point of being decentralized? So it's a capital asset, and India has, or any country for that matter, has got all the rights to have the taxation on the assets which you're buying and selling. So it's very much within the legal powers of the country to tax crypto as well. And there was another question, when we say crypto is decentralized, how can it be decentralized? There's must be someone to host the network on server as it's on the internet. The answer is it's always decentralized. You can create a node for yourself, and anytime when you create a node, the complete track of all the transactions, all the blocks which were there, they are being registered onto your block also, or node also, and you authenticate any transactions which are happening. So it's kind of a situation where nobody is controlling those networks. So it's always a decentralized network. So if you can go on to fair bit of technology side, I think you'll be able to understand it better. There was some anonymous attendee who had posed this question. And then the Karthik Sharma, in which should we invest more, crypto or stock? So I will not answer this question, Karthik. It's again a trading question. You can take a call for yourself. Like I've already brought in lots of interesting facts about crypto, how it really works, right? Okay, then again, there was Saurabh. There was question was that can a random person guess my key? The answer is no, unless and until you are leaking it out in open, okay, or the other person knows what key are you generating for your passwords. Again, Saurabh, can a blockchain be hacked on today's date? The answer is yes and no. It's both ways. Some nodes which are not being secured properly, the security architecture is not taken care of. They can be hacked, and like I told you, nodes can be hacked if you have 51% of the nodes which are, if you're able to take control of it, you can hack the blockchain. But for that purpose, you need to have 51% of the computing power as well. The question by Devanshu, how could I get to know that the price of crypto is increasing or decreasing? So you need to go to the exchange. You can register yourself on any of the exchanges which I told you, maybe CoinDCX, CoinSwitch, CoinKuber, WazirX, any of them, whichever you like. Register yourself with the KYC documents, and you can monitor for that yourself as to which coin is doing pretty good, which coin is not doing well, whether there was a crash or there was a rise or of that, it's a bearish or it's bullish, so you'll come to know. Right now, the cryptos are also being used for crowdfunding. Any other question, anyone? If you have, I can take a pause and take it further if you want, because I have tried to answer the questions which you have posted here. Anyone and any other question? Okay, so cryptos are being used for crowdfunding for your projects also. So that's another area which cryptos are being used for. And the crowdfunding is a kind of getting a project funding in the crypto space for your blockchain development. So lots of companies did crowdfunding and they got money and they actually flourished. Some of them vanished also. Okay, so it's basically ICO is where they set up a donation address and the investors send in money, and they either send it to the address or receive tokens. So there are lots of tokens when it comes to the blockchain project. So I'm not getting into that. And they can get the money for development of a project. So there are n number of projects which are coming up which ask for ICOs, initial coin offer. So what you get in return is the coins in return of the money which you try to put it in that particular project. So there are lots of scams also which come up, and fraud scheme which come. They want lots of money, and once they get the money, they vanish. So you got to be very careful whenever you have the opportunity of a ICO. Now, whatever I have told you so far, it's got a risk level altogether, and the risk in the term of the cryptos which are there. And when you talk of the low risk in the mining pool, merchant service, and the hosted wallets, medium, risk of losing or scams or fraud comes at the exchanges, your gambling, your cryptocurrency ATMs, right? And the high risk is where you have the ransomware attacks which come up. Like I told you, they asked for $11 million. There's somebody, then there was a cyber attack where they asked for $70 million, Kaseya attack. Then you have the stolen funds, you have the scams, you have the darknet, right? And you have the mixers. Mixers are where the different coins are being mixed. And the most severe being the terrorist financing. So this is also being used by different people. So you have mixers when it comes to the cryptocurrency. So where primarily you are trying to obfuscate the source of the fund, right? You're trying to hide where the actual cryptocurrency came in from. So that is the mixer property which is there. So they don't require any KYC to do it. They exist on the ClearNet also. They exist on the darknet also. And they're typically the centrally controlled. So they know what they're doing. And it works in the money laundering mechanism. It's a very serious offense of finding people doing the mixing and then, channelizing those funds to different places, right? And there are lots of cases which are coming up today, and most of the cryptocurrencies that has been stolen or from the darknet markets are being used in the mixers, right? And the common mixing sites are the chip mixer, crypto mixer, Bitcoin fog. So those are the ones which are there, right? And this is how it works. So if you have 2 Bitcoin and another Bitcoin is a half, so it does the mixing, it obfuscate the complete, the source of where this Bitcoin came in. So it will lose the identity of 1.5. It's broken down into different, pieces, and then it's being given to the next set of people. So it's got new addresses which are there. But internally, the mixer guys knows what has happened. Otherwise, the common person will not come to know. Now, there are scams also which do happen. There are people having a Ponzi scheme. Don't fall for this Ponzi scheme. People will tell you that you will become overnight richie, right? By investing into the crypto, giving you a business opportunity. Don't fall for that, because there'll be always a blackmail scam which will extort people. They will try and extort money from you, and you will end up losing your money. So lots of them in India as well. They think they are kind of traders. They are the experts in crypto. If you look at it, they know nothing about the crypto, right? So that is, but the only thing is that they will tell you, 30%, 20%, and you will fall for it and you will lose your money. So the victims are not the crypto natives. So be very careful. And these scams are on the rise, right? And this is bringing in by far the most cryptocurrency of any kind of illicit activities. So people fall for these kind of scams, right? I'll move ahead. Then is the stolen funds, where you have the exchange hacks. So like we touched about, there are lots of exchange hacks which do happen, and billions of dollars, of cryptocurrency have been lost in the exchange hacks. But even a couple of days back, there was an exchange hack. There was a Cardano, there was a, money was being siphoned. Before that, Solana had a similar kind of attack. So lots of them do happen. Primarily what they're trying to do is they exploit the vulnerability to move the exchange funds to attackers' control. That's what they do. It's something like a bank robbery which is there. And we being having these kind of attacks off and on. So that's a very precarious situation where the exchange itself is being hacked. Then is the dark markets. Like I told you, dark market is a problem area altogether. And if you're aware of the dark markets, they are being used for drugs, stolen cards, weapons, child abuse material, terror activities, and all the illicit activity, if you think of, is all happening in the darknet, right? So the tool in the darknet for the transactions is the crypto, right? And there are lots of exchange sorry, a lot of black market sites which are there, just like your e-commerce sites like Flipkart or Amazon. So there are sites called Empire, Black Market, White House, Silk Road 3.1, lots of them which are there, and they are in the business of selling illicit material. So the challenge is that anytime you're doing these kind of transactions in the darknet, you can land up into scams, you can land up into problems, whenever these kind of transactions do happen, if you are not aware of getting into a darknet and doing transactions. So you have to be very careful. Just be aware of it. Darknet is a place where crypto is being used for the illicit activities, right? So if you look at the darknet overall and how it really works, so you have the complete surface net. If you look at it, it's only the 4%. In fact, just to tell you, whatever internet you see today is only 4% of the internet, and the 96% of the internet is the deep web and darknet. And the deep web is the good part of the darknet, where you are able to hide your documents. They are being accessed through captchas or some control. But the dark web is where you get drugs. You're into the lots of pornography, illicit drugs, selling of illegal artifacts, your cards, your social security number. So all those things do happen, right? And that is where the challenge lies. Then the crypto is being used for the ransomware. And if you're following up, there's so many ransomware attacks which are happening. In fact, every 11 seconds, there is one attack or the other. Okay. So, and it's all money which is involved. That is how all these ransomware attacks are, earning huge. And of late, Russians have pinned down a complete ransomware hacking group. Okay. And they've caught them. And this has become a pain in the neck internationally also, right? And what does a ransomware do? They basically encrypt the computer files or the computer networks for ransom, okay? And it's very difficult to break those computer codes. And how it starts, all ransomware attacks do start, when a person clicks on any of the phishing emails which you get. Right. So never ever click any email which you think is not valid for you. And they're all high-tech extortion. And we are seeing so many variants of ransomware which are there. Common ones which you all would know: WannaCry, CryptoLocker, Samsung, NotPetya, Robinhood. Those are the kind of one. So the challenge is that we are not securing our networks properly. We'll land up into a ransomware attack. So they are more targeted. They are high dollar per attack, and they are sophisticated social engineering. So social engineering is, don't put anything on the social media network unless and until it's required to showcase it to different people. Then is your terror financing, right? So this is again a challenge of the crypto, where terrorist groups do the fundraising campaigns soliciting the cryptocurrency, and they ask for the cryptocurrency. They post the wallet address, and they ask for money from people as a crowdsourcing for doing the terrorist activity, right? And it can be one-on-one private conversation or via channels, Telegram and all. So they use all those medias to get the terror financing. And it resembles the fiat terrorism, fiat current financing schemes, what they do it. And of late, all the terrorist groups do quite aggressive campaigns to get money from the crypto. Using the crypto, they developed a coin called Al Sadqa to get the funding, but then they stopped it in between, right? And so one thing is for sure, crypto is being adopted by a lot of terrorist groups. So one has to be very careful. Any crypto wallets, you should know where that, who that wallet is and where are you sending the money to. So just to give you a preview of India's ecosystem, any questions so far, anyone, before I just touch on the Indian scenario? Devanshu, I think you asked a question that, sir, in shares, we see that the price of share of any company is increasing or decreasing due to the activity, but I am not able to know crypto how and what was my query. See, I'll just tell you, it's not a crypto advice, but just to tell you one thing, all the cryptos are being backed by blockchain technology. Okay. Any, say for example, a Cardano, or you may take Mana, you may take Sand, you may take any of a coin. They have a blockchain technology or a polygon. So if that technology is working good or bad, so that company you should know, not otherwise. Okay. So it is akin to your normal companies, right? Whether they are doing good or bad. So it's the same thing. So for that purpose, what you have to do is you have to go to the site where it tells you about that project. What is the strength of the blockchain algorithm? What is the, the overall ranking of that algorithm in the overall scheme of things? Where does that technology falls? So all cryptos, when I say, like I told you, remember, blockchain is the underlying technology. Even in crypto, the blockchain is the underlying technology, right? So whatever crypto will do, or good or bad, depends on the technology which it's working on. Okay. So as a homework, you can take it, go to the Poly and read through the Poly project and go on and also go through the XRP, Ripple, or Cardano for that matter. And if you want to get into the metaverse kind of situation, go and read about Mana. Okay. So there are sites where you can read about the technology, you can read about the strength of the blockchain, you can read everything about it to understand and take a view of what that technology is all about. So it's not hypothetical. It is not. That is why I'm saying that most of the crypto traders, they will tell you that we are expert in cryptos, but they know nothing about it because they don't know that it's being backed by a project. And what is a project all about? How that project works, whether it's a good project or not. What are the fork? What is the soft fork which has happened? What are the hard fork? What has happened? Why is the price going up? Why is the price going down? So all those things which really matter. So have you understood, Devanshu? Okay. Anmol Arora. So is this possible that crypto can be banned in a single day? It can be. It's a government's decision. If they plan to ban it, they can do it. They have all the power. Like it's being banned in China. They threw all the mining facilities out of country, and they stopped all the exchange operations in the country. So it can happen overnight. It's all the decisions which any country can take, and they are all empowered to do it. And they are all within the legal rights to do it. So that is what the situation of banning cryptos are there. Anyone, any other question? So Karthik, I think one question I actually didn't answer you that time, but I will tell you, cryptos are the future, but I don't recommend you to put it or not. It's only a piece of advice. These are the future, and in times to come, in your generation, crypto will be one of the prime, tools of exchanging things. Even if you're traveling out, or doing certain things, you can take a call. And it's always a good learning. From a learning perspective also, you can learn crypto. So there's no harm in it, because this is going to be the future. So why should you be out of the, like it's always told, don't be a FOMO, the fear of missing out. Don't have that, right? If you want to learn as a learning purpose, you can always go in for that. Stocks have its own, pluses and minuses. Cryptos have its own plus and minus. So remember that. So Indian ecosystem is also very aggressive, right? While I have told you all about crypto till now, we see there's a lot of traction in India also, which has happened. There are lots of spot exchanges which have come up. Okay, there are lots of derivative exchanges which are there. There are exchange aggregators which are there. There are influencers, there are media which are there. So Indian ecosystem is also very, very active when it comes to the blockchain. So though I will not answer any of you directly whether you should invest or not, but don't be out of the race of the newer technology when it comes to imbibing it. I can only tell you that, right? So it's not an advice, but only telling you how it really works. Okay. And some of the questions, which may come to your mind, I've just put that questions. And the question really comes, can cryptocurrency serve as a currency? And the answer is that yes, it can serve it if it satisfies the 4 criteria. Like I told you, El Salvador, they've declared legal as a legal tender, and they are doing the transactions in the Bitcoin. Everyone was given a wallet. They were topped up by a certain amount of Bitcoins, right? So if it serves as a medium of exchange, then it can be termed as a currency. Okay. And if the people are going to accept Bitcoin as payment, like you would have heard the example that Elon Musk and Tesla stories, they will take it in Bitcoin, then he stopped it, then again he told. So this is how, if it is a medium of exchange, that it can be one of the criteria. The second criteria could be if it is as a unit of account, right? Where, a cryptocurrency depends on the stability of its value, right? If it has got its stability, it can be a kind of a currency. Like you have a dollar, which doesn't vary much, and that is how it's been a currency. So if it meets this criteria, the answer can be yes, right? But here it is very volatile. The third criteria is it serves as a standard of deferred payment, right? So say, for example, if you buy a 1 Bitcoin and you have to make a deferred payment, you should have a similar value. If there's a fluctuation, if there is a plus minus, how do you really, rely on such kind of payment system? So that's another, criteria for making it as a currency. And if it serves as a store of value, okay, where, a currency which is there, it has the function that cryptocurrency may offer as a stored value, like gold, where the inflationary spikes appear, investors can turn to safe investment, such as precious commodities, right? And in case of the crypto, we are still trying to figure it out as to whether we can have a store of value. So these are the 4 criteria. If it fulfills, we should think that it can be a currency, otherwise not. And that's a big question and big point of discussion all across. The second question, and some of you really were asking also, is crypto illegal or legal? And it varies from country to country, right? And some of the countries have banned it, some have opened it up, some have got a crypto exchanges, right? And somewhere it's legal. That's the way it is, right? And some countries where they're accepting the crypto as, for the exchange of any services what they give. In India, we are in a kind of plus minus legal illegal status, and we don't have any regulatory framework till now, right? Countries like Algeria, Morocco, China, Nepal, Russia is banning it. Vietnam have banned it totally, right? But this keeps on changing. So this information is very turbulent. It keeps on changing by the hour. And the other question is, will banks use cryptocurrency? Okay, and most of the banks do get threatened by use of cryptocurrency being used, because they treat as a traditional bank, they have the fiat currency which is being used, and they are against this idea of using the cryptocurrencies, right? And there are certain banks like and some MasterCards and all, they are already talking of and or the visas, standard, not the standard, there's one more bank which is they're trying to support the cryptocurrencies and investing in it. So that's how they are doing as well. And some bit of advantages of the cryptocurrency, right? One of the biggest drawback of cryptocurrency is the security. Remember this, like we told that it can be hacked also, so you can lose it. If you're lost the password, then also you lose it. And there are so many stories about hacks which are there, were very alarming. And there are lots of people with less experience and knowledge, which leads to huge loss. Like I told you, everybody says I'm expert in crypto, despite knowing nothing about crypto, right? So that's another challenge of the cryptocurrency. And since it's a fully digitized, right, there is a technically difficulty such as network issues and so on, right? So these are the kind of things which are there. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of crypto. So I've almost come to the end of my talk. If you still have any questions, please, like to answer your queries, your questions, and take it on.
There are a couple of questions, like Amisha is there. So she's wanting to know if a currency trade.
Is a currency trade, exchange, or investment adds to the autocracies of the world?
Atrocities
of the world. Would this be deteriorating humanity? I didn't get your question, Anisha. If you can unmute yourself, because you may be having something in your mind and you're trying to bring it out, but then you're not able to put it in the words.
Can the IT department help, sir?
Pardon?
The IT person will be able to, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Anisha Liz Thomas, if you can just unmute her. Anisha, are you there? Just raise your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
So now you can put forward your question.
So there are services, right? For which the currency is utilized.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Bitcoins here, used in the darknet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, does this encourage illegal or illicit activities?
Yes, that's what I told you, that in darknet, the medium of exchange of currency is cryptocurrency, because it gives anonymity, and the darknet, it gives the privacy. Okay, so it's a very dangerous concoction of the darknet versus the cryptocurrency and how it's being used.
So, sir, I was wondering, in fact, how, for example, non-vegetarians and vegans are out there. Vegans deny the usage of animal products, and non-vegetarians do use that. Sorry, it's such a weird example, but in that same context, if somebody doesn't invest in cryptocurrency because they have a feeling that this might happen, would that divide the society too? I mean, sorry,
Okay,
it's too much.
no,
This
I
is it.
still didn't get your question. So if you're
Couldn't connect.
saying, let me repeat it if I've understood you correctly. You want to ask that if you're not investing in crypto, right?
Yes. Would that in any way benefit the people?
There's no harm in it. If you're not investing in crypto, there's no harm in it. Because I have not told you to invest in crypto. So it's only a technology which you should be aware. And the good part of the technology is, like all the countries, India also, we are coming up with technology called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. It is the blockchain-based technology, which it is called the digital rupee also, whatever they name it, as and when it comes, right? So that will get circulated to everyone. And you don't really need to buy the private cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin.
Or the decentralized ones. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you don't have to really buy. If you don't want to buy it, there's nobody is actually telling you to buy this. This is like I told you in the start of the talk itself, that this is more from a very educative, from a technology standpoint, where we want to talk of technology. You should be aware of technology, how the world is moving to, what are the advantages, what are disadvantages, what are the challenges, so that is the aim of the overall scenario or the talk which was there.
So this, I just wanted to know, CBDC is something like this only? I mean, is it a currency only? There is no transaction. I mean,
So CBDC is going to be issued by Government of India. It's by the RBI, and it will be like you'll have a digital rupee which will come in your wallet and you can transact. So let me just see if I have 1 or 2 slides on CBDC, if I can put that as well. Yeah.
I think China also has.
So just see this slide if you're able to see this. Okay, so I'll just tell you how the private banks, CBDC and cryptocurrency really works, right? You have a national currency or the currencies which are there. You have face value, fixed at the face value. It's being given by the government. It's by the backing assets, the mix. So this is the government, right? Now, your private money is your e-money or the stable coin. Stable coin in terms of the cryptos, these are the USDTs which are there, same as bank, right? So they have fixed and flexible. They are private. Okay, that's what you would have heard the terminology private currencies, right? So they come into the private currencies and they are safe and liquid, safe and varied. So that is there. Then it comes to the public money. This is called the CBDC. They are same as bank. They don't have any redemption pledge. There is no backstop and there is no backing asset. Okay, so this is how your CBDC will work. That's the advantage which you'll have, and which is not money, which we talk of the crypto assets, the cryptocurrency. Denomination is own, because whatever you're trading, it happens. It may fall today, it may rise today. There's no redemption pledge. There's no backstop. There is no backing asset. So this is the crypto assets what we talk of. I hope this slide gives you, overall what I have spoken for last 1.5 hours into the one slide. I've tried to, merge it and tell you what is the CBDC, what are crypto assets, what's the private money, and what is your actual banks. Any questions in this?
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So I just wanted to know, it is my inquisitive mind, aren't we, if we're not adopting cryptocurrency, like the positive aspects of it, because then whereas I see amongst all my students who are abroad, and mostly Europe, US, and part of other subcontinent also, all of them are using cryptocurrency, whether it is paying for their rental or paying for some other purpose. And amongst the student community in the younger generation, it is very common now. So if India and other countries, some of the selective countries, if they are choosing not to adopt cryptocurrency, wouldn't they be out of league, or how is it going to impact, if you can deliberate?
Yeah. So just to tell you what happens, the cryptocurrency was any country where they don't want cryptocurrency as a legal tender is very simple. In the case of the cryptocurrency, it is decentralized. The government doesn't have any control. Say, for example, you want to transfer, the fees of $10,000, right? And you're just giving it from $10,000 from your wallet to your kid's wallet, or peer-to-peer, friend-to-friend. Now the government is not in between. Okay. Whereas in the present case, if you look at it, you give the money to the bank, the money goes to the SWIFT switch. SWIFT switch is being controlled by the group of countries which are controlling the SWIFT. The dollar is getting controlled from there. The price of dollar and euros are getting controlled from there. And then it is being transferred to the person of, where whom you are sending the money. So the government has the control of that $10,000 which you are transferred altogether. Whereas in first case, the government doesn't have any control on the $10,000 you transferred, whether you transferred it for the right purpose, or whether you were doing it for the terror financing, or you were doing it a darknet kind of deals. So it is really a big challenge for the government to control the complete economy. And at any given time, no country would like to destabilize itself, if they're not in control of the economy. So that is why, if the countries, they want to go other way around, right? They said that instead of having the private cryptocurrencies, let's go in for a cryptocurrency which is backed by the government itself, called the CCSO.
Sorry to interrupt, but then it is limited to the specific country only, no?
Yes, that it is similar to a digital rupee. And that is why there is a dichotomy between different people, different countries, different organizations, financial institutions, that whether crypto should be a legal or illegal tender. So it's a conflict of ideas. That is why you will see people supporting cryptocurrency, and some set of people who are deadly against cryptocurrencies, right? But I personally feel it's a future, and the younger generation should be aware of it, what is happening, right? And they should not be devoid of the information or the knowledge what we're trying to impart. And it is for them to take a decision which is good or bad. Got it, Dr. Ruby?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So it's being used. Like in Switzerland, if you want to get a birth certificate, you will pay it in crypto. You want to buy a coffee, you will pay it in crypto. You want to buy things, you can buy it in crypto. You can, keep moving that way. So it's a country to country, which they are like, wanting to have that way. Australia is a similar kind of thing. They have partially legalized it. Japan, they legalized it. They've got an exchange. They're trading the crypto on the exchange, right? So they know what is happening. So people are evolving crypto regulations, and they are called the virtual assets regulation. They're also coming up with a kind of concept of virtual asset service providers, right? Then they are also coming up with a concept of, if you're moving from one country to another, right? Say, for example, from here, I'm going to US. If I have got $10,000, how do I, the virtual assets should be, how it should get controlled, right? So there's a whole lot of discussions around the virtual assets. So crypto terminology, we change it as a virtual assets, and there are regulations of virtual assets which are coming up. Then there is another thing which is coming up is like you were saying about, the payment of the bills and all, but then there is a whole lot of regulations of coming up by FATF, which is against the terror financing group. So they are coming up with the regulations on the virtual assets itself. So lots of think tanks are working on it around the clock to come up with a right kind of solution as to how cryptocurrencies should be used, what are the challenges, how it can be kind of regulated, irregulated, controlled, and thought of getting to the next level of usage of the cryptocurrency if required. Yes, please. Right.
Anybody else, any student who's wanting to ask any more questions, please, you are welcome. Any of the faculty listening, if they are interested in asking, sir, any of the queries.
Anyone, any other query, please?
Students, you have to ask now. So this is a special occasion where sir has agreed, despite being so extremely busy. It's been very nice of him to take out time because he loves interacting with you. And please come ahead and ask whatever queries you have. I think I'm not getting any response as such. I think all the queries are, because this is a new thing and there are so many questions which I am sure shall come up over a period of time because they are going to ponder on this more.
No, definitely. It will be a pleasure to interact anytime, whenever. Okay, somebody asked.
Yeah. Kunal
NFT, I told you about the fungibility. You know, we spoke about the bitcoins as they're fungible. Fungible means whenever you say, for example, you have 1 rupee which you give it to the bank. Okay, it changes and it's not the same 1 rupee which you get it back. It's being, exchange of hands. It's fungible. Now, if, say, for example, you have a painting for yourself, or you have made some artwork, or you have something very unique, right? Or you went to IPL final where you want to store that ticket, and that was of time when India won that IPL, or whichever team won that IPL. Okay, and you have stored it. It's got some value. You think it's got some value. It's now you can sell it over the on the NFT market. And what practically happens, the NFT is on the Bitcoin. Okay, there is one layer which comes up, which actually writes the proof of asset. That means who does the asset belongs to now. Say, for example, a song. If you have, there was a song by Lata Mangeshkar, and it was not published anywhere. You got a hand on that. She sold it to you. Okay. And now she transferred that song to you. How do you tell that that song belongs to you now for usage, for playing in the party? That proof of asset is embedded on that code of that crypto, okay, or the blockchain. So that is the non-fungibility, which is called NFT, right? And that NFT has got a value. And you don't go to the crypto exchanges. There are NFT exchanges and there are NFT marketplaces where you can buy and sell. Okay. Similarly, there is some song you want to give it now. As of now, you're using the songs for free, right? Now you have some song of yours, you want to earn money, or you have done some work. Okay, some good work, you want to earn some money. You put it in the NFT, you sell it, you can earn money out of that. Okay, and you can sell it in the NFT marketplace. So that is the NFT. Every time somebody is selling that song or work, there is a proof of asset which will keep adding. Okay, that is what is the NFT. So there is a key which gets created. Right. So that is the thing.
So a couple of questions more, sir. Karan Singh is asking, can the real Satoshi Nakamoto stop the Bitcoin?
Say again.
So he's asking, can the real Satoshi Nakamoto stop Bitcoin?
We don't know. So this is an ongoing game now. Nobody can stop it. And if you look at it, the number of Bitcoins, what he has got, he had got 125 million Bitcoin to himself. it would have costed him $75 billion. And just imagine, he would have been one of the richest person on the earth today if anybody knew Satoshi Nakamoto. So that's the kind of Bitcoins he had. And nobody knows that Bitcoin, how to decipher the keys. Okay. But everybody knows that belonged to Satoshi Nakamoto. So this is a work in progress. Nobody can stop any Bitcoin from happening now. Okay.
So there is Muskan. Can we correlate to NAV or Sensex?
So Muskan, NAV and Sensex is the ideal stock exchanges what you have, and just to tell you one thing, all the Sensex and stock exchange which are there, they don't tell the health of the country, of the finance. They only tell the health of the company. Remember? So NAV comes up when you have a mutual fund and those mutual funds are doing good, the investments are working, and it goes up or down depending on the fund manager who's managing the fund, and he's able to give you the returns. Sensex overall is the sentiments of the people investing in the companies. Like I told you, remember, the Sensex, NSE and the BSE doesn't define the health of the country's economy. So beat it. It's the kind of sentiments about the people in the company, whether it's doing good or not. Based on that, people invest money or take it out. Okay, so that is how the risks are. So you can put the risks along with it as to whether they are getting new projects, whether they have a good director, whether the people who are there in the company, whether they are effective or not. You should check those, right? So that is how you have to do the due diligence before investing in any of funds in the stock exchange.
One small question from Kunal. He wants to know about Shiba Inu.
Shiba Inu is a meme coin, and it's being kind of, just one second. What's the question? What do you think of a Shiba Inu? So Shiba it's a meme coin, right? And it's got no value. There's no technology associated with it. Okay, people buy for fun. It was like a Dogecoin, if you're aware of it. And Dogecoin was being powered by Elon Musk, and that's how it got popularity. Otherwise, that's also a meme coin. So there's no technology backing that particular coin. Remember, and Shiba Inu is again a meme coin. So it's not going to really go up the way people think of it. So that is what is about Shiba Inu. Okay.
Anybody else? Any of the students who are keen to ask any more questions before, so that we can now, I think, spend some time.
Okay, one Karan Singh Raghav, as you told, every coin there is a project. Then who is behind the Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is a technology, right? And that is a core technology which is driving the Bitcoin altogether. And the hash code which are being traded, okay, they are having the demand and supply. And all the other coins basically are a trade-off or a technology trade-off of Bitcoin itself. Okay, so there's nothing unique starting from scratch, but they are technology trade-offs where they're taking the cue from Bitcoin, how it really works. And most of the projects which I told you, like Poly or Cardano, they're trying to solve the problems of the Bitcoin itself. Some problems of earlier it used to take a lot of time of transactions, cross transactions which will happen. There are off-chain, on-chain transactions which happen. So all the projects which are there primarily are the offshoots of the Bitcoin project itself, right? So that's how it really works. So it's a whole big ecosystem when it works, comes to all the projects. And some of the projects are Ponzi. The Ponzi schemes are like, they will come up and tell you that we are going to do this. They will not do it. They'll create a big website, but there's no project. Okay, so don't fall for any technology, any project which is not powered by technology, right? And there are lots of them in India. I've seen them personally, right? So be very careful and be very wary of getting into those kind of Ponzi scheme. Don't be rushing to invest in crypto. Read, understand, then only if you want to do it, then only do it. Otherwise, if you are scared of it, don't get into it. Because I initially itself told you, I'm not going to be telling you about crypto investing. I'll tell you about the technology perspective of the same thing. Yeah. Any other question, please?
So I have a question. It's been more than a year or so that my son had invested in Dogecoin. So do you think it is not a wise investment? Like it's not backed by technology, as you say?
Yeah. So it's a meme coin. So there's nothing. So it's more from sentiments.
Okay, fair enough.
So that coin was actually moving on sentiments.
Okay.
If Elon Musk could tweet something, it will go up. Then people will request over the Twitter, Elon Musk to tweet again, it will go up. Then Elon Musk will tweet negative, it will come down. So that is what practically happened.
Okay, fair enough. Any other question from any of the students or panelists or anybody who's wanting to ask? Then we will wind up the session. I think, sir, we have addressed all the queries of all the students, and I must say it has been really enthralling and very, very inquisitive. Still, so many questions building up in my mind, and I'm sure I'm going to nag you throughout some other time.
Sure.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session and deeply immersed everybody. And I can still see around 100 students still there, keenly listening to every bit that you have to offer. So I must say it has been a very interactive session and full of questions, full of amazing information, which was very instrumental to my students and their knowledge levels. While we take leave, there is one small question.
Yeah,
Karan, if you want to take from Karan Singh Raghav, he is using futures in exchange as a good or spot.
See, it is Karan. I think you are into the investment part of it, and
yeah, he is futures.
Yeah.
He's talking about futures.
So you want to get into. So not every coin falls into the spot buying. Some of them really work in spot. Some of them, which are a long-term investment, you can go in future. Like the ones which are there for Meta, like I told you, Mana, Sand, Block. They're all pretty good from an investment perspective. And those can be, you can go in for that for futures and keep it for long term. So because they're going to give you lots of returns. Because we didn't talk of metaverse in this talk. Metaverse is the future again, and all the technologies which are backed by metaverse, for the metaverse, like I told you, the Mana, Sand, they are going to do pretty good because those are the NFTs which will be the ones which will drive lots and lots of interest amongst people. Yeah,
I think pretty informative. Now one query I had it in my mind, if you are able to take this question of mine. So I just wanted to know why futures is not so famous here in India, like the way it is in other countries. So
we don't want to hold on to the money for some time and get back the returns. So we want a quick buy, and we are always looking in for 30% interest, and we try to work on that way. That's what the problem with us is, that we don't understand the technologies which are there behind each one of them, how they work, when is the hard fork going to be, when is the soft fork going to be, when are they coming up with the newer technology in the overall network. So we don't wait for that. So we just see the sentiments of the people. And that is how it creates a volatility. Because like I told you, that most of the people, since they don't know the technology, what they do the sentimental buying, right? And
very much.
That is what creates a volatility, because you see, 10 people started buying. Okay, you also think, yeah, let me also go and buy it. Not thinking that why the people are buying it. And suddenly, you see lots of red and people selling it, you start selling it. So if you know that all technologies have got a roadmap, they know what they're doing, and as and when what is going to happen, the prices will fluctuate at that time. When it's going to be bullish, when it's going to be bearish, when it's going to be kind of it's a slide which is going to happen. The Bitcoin, of course, has got a different ball game. I'll not tell about Bitcoin because Bitcoin depends more from the sentiment side, more from the regulatories of the government which happen, more from kind of the people who want to let the Bitcoin fall. So that's again a different kind of scenario, which is a whole.
So many factors influencing.
Yeah.
So I gather it's a gamut, and where so many factors are currently in play. And I was just evaluating the futures market over a decade, or the past decade. It is not in India. It has not come up the way it was supposed to come up. So that's a different topic which we'll touch upon later on. So thank you so much, Col Inderjeet sir, for this very, very interactive session. And my thanks from the bottom of my heart, and for agreeing to address this important topic for my students and giving them some plethora of questions, matter enough, so much of knowledge, so that they are going to come back again with a lot many questions furthermore to this session.
So definitely they can come offline anytime, they can interact, because this is a forum where it was for everyone. If they want to know more about it, I am available offline, and they can interact with me. It will be a pleasure too.
Thank you so much. Over to you. Over to Manoj.
Connect me on LinkedIn for that matter, not a problem for that purpose. And I'll be happy to help them out with the technology perspective and what is the thought process on the overall technology and how they look forward in the technology space.
So kind of you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Colonel sir. आपके समय के लिए बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया, and it is always a pleasure to interact with you. And students, I believe they must have got a comprehensive overview about crypto. And once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your valuable time and guiding our students.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manoj, and thank you, Dr. Ruby, and all the students. God bless you all. Stay safe. Lots of challenges of COVID. So be happy, be safe, study well, grow in life. When God speak to you, all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ma'am, shall I close the session?